drug addiction, marriage problems, anger issues, self-doubt, politics at work, fear, hate, bitterness, lust, gluttony, and the list could go on and on. So you're asking, where do I fit in on this list? Well, for the past 3 years, I've been studying psychology at Spring Arbor University. Now, the field of psychology is a wide umbrella with thousands of jobs that fall underneath it. What I'm hoping to do with my degree is to become a counselor so I can work with some people with the problems I've just listed above. Today, I would like to go over 3 points that surround my interest in the field of psychology. The first point is what it takes to become a counselor. The second point is what it means to me to become a counselor. And the last point is why people need counselors. The first point is the steps it takes to become a counselor. Schooling. First, it takes a bachelor's degree, which is 4 years at a university, which I'm attempting to do at Spring Arbor. Second, after that, would be a master's degree, which would be 2 years after your bachelor's at a graduate school. Now, not only is there schooling, but there's also work experience. 2,000 to 4,000 hours of clinical work experience under supervision is required. Not only that, but then there's also a licensing where you would have to get a license by passing an exam. Now, I want to complete these steps because becoming a counselor means something to me. The first thing is that I feel God has given me skill traits and that my purpose fits into the field of counseling. That I can listen to people and perhaps advise them or help get their thinking going to help in their relationships with others. Now, the first kind of relationships is relationship with other people. Now, this could be relationships with your mother, relationships with your husband or your spouse, relationships with the people at work, relationships with your friends, or even relationships that happen as you pass people on the street. Now, building those relationships, or perhaps letting God use me in that area to where I can encourage a relationship or have God help me build more trust or a better foundation in a relationship as opposed to me saving it because I'm just really working through God. But any help I could do through God would really make my job a joy and a blessing to go to work every day. Now, the second kind of relationships is the relationships with oneself. Now, as you remember, I've listed some very, I would say, common problems that people have, such as drug addictions, marriage problems, anger issues, bitterness, gluttony, lust. Now, a lot of those problems deal with the self. And if I can work with people in challenging their thinking with the self, then maybe they can build better foundations to their own relationships. And just knowing that I could help people communicate better and function better the way they wanted to would be just the biggest joy in my life. Lastly, of all these points is why people need counselors. I like to refer it as the unknown friendship. Now, you could have the best friends in the world, the best support group, or maybe not. Maybe you don't have a good support group or you don't have very many close friends. But in either category, people normally don't have someone who will just listen to them, who doesn't yet know them, and will not cast judgment on them. This is why I like to call it the unknown friend, because usually it doesn't exist. And I think that's why people need counselors, because it's not a relationship you can go out and build with people. It's something you have to go to, like going to the doctor's office or going to get an x-ray, because this person is a relationship that you don't want to really build. You don't want a friend who, is just listening and maybe not pushing you, as compared to a counselor who's going to, listen and just challenge your thinking, as opposed to, coming over to your house and, being close to you, texting you. It's a different kind of relationship. Another reason why I think people need counselors is because we live in a sinful world. As I've mentioned, there's many problems, and with these problems, people need that unknown friend. And I think if we didn't live in a sinless world, we wouldn't exactly need people to listen to us and people to advise us. But the fact is, and the truth is, we do. And I think that is one of the main reasons why becoming a counselor, there's always going to be work opportunities. And hopefully I can use those opportunities with the skills God has given me. To sum it all together, I hope these 3 points have gave more insight onto my future profession. These points are becoming a counselor, what counseling means to me, and why the field is important. To end, I would like to quote a silly quote from one of my favorite authors, J.R.R. Tolkien. Do not go to the elves for counsel, for they will say both yes and no. I hope in the future that I may be a little more concrete than that. Thank you.